Playing with computers. I think one of the greatest things computers are good for is both learning programming and then creating computer programs. Learning programming teaches you everything you need to know about self-education, and as a result, no teacher will ever trick you that there is something wrong with you. They are copying grades from other classes, by the way. Grades are really not real, and textbooks are total utter garbage. You are not getting an education. You are just being processed so that all the staff can get paid, and so that the school can keep its accreditation. Everyone is in on it because they know that standardized education can't work. You need self-directed, curiosity-driven education, one that is self-paced and at the speed that matches you. And creating computer programs will make you stop being scared of poverty. Here, no one will ever push you around. Politicians just ensure that the world stays poor, as that is the way it has always been. They can't change anything. They aren't very good at what they do. A couple of generations of great beings could change that. No more fake schools, beautiful universal income, and then as a result, no war, no crime, just wisdom and peace. But a lot of our thinking must transform into something higher. The global culture needs an intellectual revolution. Computer programming plays really well into that. It is very enabling, it is very empowering, and it is always revolutionary. Feelings like that can translate by subtle analogy into our real life outside of computers. And you can really see that in programmers. They just know that they have worth because they can create stuff that everybody needs. And while that is true for all of us, of course, not everyone feels that way. A lot of people are tricked into thinking that they're not very smart. That only happens because the teachers are trying to make their days easier. Computer programming is a way of creating enormous things that come to life. In some cases, computer programs can help us think more clearly, extend us, or just help us. Other things that are like that is learning to read and write and figuring out how numbers work. It all adds up, you see. Past a certain point when lectures become more and more abstract, teachers get more and more creative. And their job becomes about taking. They are no longer giving. As a fourth subject, programming wouldn't let teachers cheat you, because you could see that you aren't learning for real when the programs aren't working. If they tried to make them more abstract, you would surely protest and ask, why don't we create apps, or better yet, web browser plugins? Why must we be programming this abstract crap? See, that is something you just can't do in biology, chemistry, or physics, or astrology. Not astronomy, astrology. Yet another insult. You make a tiny app in school and you try to sell it just for the kicks, just to see what it feels like. And you get a full picture of how to exit poverty. And beyond that, you could learn about biology by creating apps in the field of biology. or about music composition or art by creating useful tools that you can, for example, plug into speakers or projectors. The extra added tail end of finishing something, of plugging it into the real world, is the difference between merely memorizing or performing and truly learning and comprehending. And it is not true that programming is somehow not for you. You've been tricked into thinking that. Teaching programming really is a challenge to the fraudulent teacher. You also get tricked that you are not an artist. This actually might have occurred in an art class with a projector over the empty head of your art teacher. So you can use a projector to project on canvas and gently trace out. If you continue on practicing like that, you become a master of art in no time. You've also been tricked that you are not able to compose music because of, music theory. And all of that, is seriously scary stuff. Because to become an artist, you just need a wall projector and a program like Krita. This will help you manipulate colors to see the projection better. And Krita can help you with digital art as well. Just set the reference images tool to low opacity and start tracing. The color picker will be picking colors from the low opacity original, so you always have the correct color under your pen. Music composition is even easier. It is just layers of tried and tested instruments that play in new patterns that are nice to the ear. Using music theory, also pretty easy, creates boring music, unfortunately. Music theory is a protocol by which multiple artists can collaborate together on something that can integrate well together. So it's great for a band, I guess. But we have software now, including live music programming environments. So you don't really need it. What music really is about is bringing energy to the dancer at the gym. If the song isn't energy, if it can't create it, it really isn't that good. And yes, music must evolve. It takes a lot from the past, but it absolutely must play by new rules. As far as programming goes, I recommend learning JavaScript because I previously learned C, Perl, PHP, ActionScript, Java, Basic, Visual Basic, ASP, and a couple of others, and I don't use them. I only use JavaScript because it works on the server, on the desktop, in the browser, and even on the phone for making apps. People will try to change that, but the bolted-on languages that go on top will never go as far as JavaScript. They will always be limited. Just learn enough to have all the evidence you need that you are creative and brilliant and a genius as any human can be. Listen to all the life-changing and narrated books too, especially when you go hiking, something you should do very often. It's really important. Let the adventures help you combine it all in your mind. Let it all remind you that to grow up means to grow all the way up. There is no stopping part way. We just start in the beginning and never really stop. The world really needs your help. It needs your entire generation to view knowledge as something even greater than power. The world needs your greatness.